Congratulations! You've just paid for your own execution and even left a generous tip for the pharmacist. You swallow that handful of colorful capsules with the proud look of a biohacker, unaware that right now your healthy calcium isn't building bones, but is turning your blood vessels into concrete, making them as brittle as rebar. And that harmless natural herb for weight loss is melting your liver more effectively than bootleg vodka. Marketers sold you a beautiful lie about the safety of nature, but biochemistry doesn't care about your illusions. In a world where vitamins for smokers cause cancer and heart supplements mask heart attacks, your ignorance is a death sentence. Today, we're going to dissect 33 popular supplements that you take to live forever, but which will send you to an early grave. Spit that crap out. Let's begin the autopsy. First fact. In our medicine cabinet sits a little orange bottle. On it, the words beta-carotene. It's supposed to be an antioxidant, protection for our lungs, especially for those who like to smoke. Marketers paint us a picture. Here you are, taking a drag from a cigarette, and here's the magic molecule, like a knight in shining armor, throwing itself into the line of fire. It catches the free radicals. It protects the delicate alveoli. We believe this fairy tale. We buy ourselves an indulgence in a capsule. We think we've cheated the system. We can keep smoking like a chimney. After all, we have insurance. Sound too good to be true? That's right, because it's a bald-faced lie. In reality, this night is a double agent. For a smoker, beta-carotene isn't just useless. It's deadly. It doesn't protect. On the contrary, it helps cancer develop. The risk of lung cancer skyrockets. Just imagine, we pay money to die faster and more painfully. It's like hiring a bodyguard who shoots you himself in a dark alley. A brilliant business model. Second fact. It's been drilled into our heads since childhood. Eat calcium and you'll have strong bones. And so here we are as adults continuing this mantra. We buy calcium pills. We swallow them by the handful. We crunch them like candy. We imagine that every tablet is a brick that goes into building our bone fortress. We are building an impenetrable wall against osteoporosis. We see ourselves as wise builders of our own bodies, like resourceful hamsters, dragging useful minerals into their burrows. But in reality, it's much more mundane. Without its partner, vitamin K2, calcium becomes a homeless wanderer. It doesn't know where to go. No one is waiting for it in the bones. So it starts to roam around the body. It settles wherever it pleases. And it especially likes our arteries. It sticks to their walls, layer by layer, year after year. And our elastic vessels turn into stone pipes, fragile and brittle. This is called calcification, and it's a direct path to a heart attack. We wanted to strengthen our skeleton, but ended up cementing our heart. Congratulations, the Darwin Award is almost in our pocket. Third fact. St. John's wort. What a sweet pastoral name. It immediately brings to mind an alpine meadow, sunshine, a grandmother herbalist. Drink this brew, my dear, and all your sorrows will pass. It's sold as a natural antidepressant, a mild remedy for the blues and bad moods, a safe alternative to adult chemicals, and we fall for it. We buy this herb. Women buy it especially often. After all, they have more stress. And so a lovely lady drinks St. John's wort for peace of mind, and at the same time she takes oral contraceptives to have control over her life. She's sure that everything is under control. She's calm and protected. Not a chance. This harmless little flower is a professional saboteur. It quietly disables the effect of birth control pills. It just nullifies them, turns them into sugar balls. The woman thinks she's on an armored train, but in reality, she's riding a bicycle downhill with no brakes. The result of this treatment for the blues is often an unplanned pregnancy. Surprise! The manufacturer, of course, writes about this in the instructions, in very, very fine print, somewhere on the second to last page. Good luck seeing that without a microscope. Fourth fact. Vitamin E, alpha-tocopherol. Sounds like the name of a Greek god. The god of youth and beauty. It's sold to us in beautiful amber capsules. They say it's an elixir. It smooths wrinkles, improves the skin, protects the heart. In short, Not a vitamin, but a portable fountain of youth. Men especially love it. They see it as their ally, a protector of masculine strength and health. They swallow these capsules, imagining their bodies filling with energy. How they become invincible, almost like Superman. But this Superman has his dark side. The high doses of synthetic vitamin E they sell us are not good. They are pure evil. For men, it's a ticking time bomb. Studies have shown taking such doses increases the risk of stroke and also the risk of prostate cancer, the most terrifying male nightmare. We think we're drinking the elixir of youth, but in reality, we're drinking a goodbye health cocktail. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The effect will be spectacular, but not at all the one we were expecting. Fifth fact. On our agenda today is weight loss, the holy war against excess pounds. And in this war, all means are fair. Pills with green tea extract are especially popular. We are promised a miracle. You drink the capsules and lose weight. Without diets, without exercise, the fat just melts away, evaporates, disappears into thin air. We look at the advertisement. Their slim models are smiling as they drink this extract. And we think, this is it, the solution. We buy the coveted bottle. We start taking it. A day, 2, a week. We wait for our love handles to turn into a six-pack. Sound like a script for a Hollywood movie? Perhaps. Only the genre isn't comedy, but a horror movie. Concentrated green tea extract in pills is not a cup of aromatic tea. It's a sledgehammer blow to the liver. The doses of antioxidants in there are so high that the liver simply can't cope. It goes into shock. Acute toxic hepatitis begins. In simple terms, poisoning. In particularly successful cases, complete liver failure. And now we're not lying on a beach with a perfect figure. We're in intensive care, on an IV drip, waiting for an organ transplant. But hey, we lost weight. There's just one little catch. Sixth fact. Kava kava, or the intoxicating pepper. It sounds exotic, almost like a spell from Harry Potter. It's sold as a powerful sedative, a remedy for anxiety and insomnia, natural, plant-based. Polynesian shamans used it for centuries. And they knew a thing or two about relaxation. We city dwellers are always on edge, always stressed. We desperately need such an assistant. We buy this root, we brew it, we drink it, and we feel the tension melt away. The world becomes kinder. Problems seem smaller. We found our nirvana in a pouch. But there's one small detail the marketers keep quiet about. This harmless herb is banned in most European countries. And for good reason. Because it kills the liver. Faster, more effectively, and more reliably than the cheapest alcohol. Liver failure from kava develops rapidly. Sometimes a few doses are enough. We wanted to calm our nerves. But we ended up sending our liver to the afterlife. It's like treating a headache with a guillotine. The headache will stop, that's a fact. But it can hardly be called a successful treatment. Seventh fact. Biotin. Vitamin B7, also known as the beauty vitamin. Instagram gurus sing its praises. Want gorgeous hair like Rapunzel's? Take biotin. Want strong nails you can open cans with? Take biotin. Want radiant skin like a Disney princess? You know the answer. And of course, we buy it. Because who doesn't want to be beautiful? We take these pills and wait for a transformation. Every morning we look in the mirror. Has our hair grown down to our heels yet? Has our skin started to glow? By itself, biotin in adequate doses is relatively harmless. It won't poison you. It won't kill you. But it carries out sabotage, cunning and insidious. It interferes with our blood tests. Specifically, the test for troponin. This is a key marker for a heart attack. Now imagine this situation. You have a heart attack. You're rushed to the hospital. Doctors take your blood, and the test comes back clean. Biotin has skewed it. It has hidden your heart attack. The doctors think you're faking it. They send you home to treat your nerves. And you die because you didn't get help in time. That's the price for beautiful hair. A bit steep, don't you think? Eighth fact. Iron. An important trace element. It's needed for blood, for hemoglobin. A deficiency leads to anemia, weakness, paleness. In short, nothing good. And so having read about this, we decide to play it safe. We start taking iron supplements, just in case. for prevention. It seems like a reasonable step. We are strengthening our body, building up reserves for a rainy day. We feel like responsible owners of our own bodies. In reality, we are committing a crime against ourselves. Excess free iron in the body, when there is no deficiency, is a catastrophe. It's not a reserve, it's a toxic waste dump. Free iron is a powerful oxidant. It triggers the aging process. It's literally rusting from the inside. But that's not all. Excess iron is a favorite treat for pathogenic bacteria. And for cancer cells, we are creating an all-you-can-eat buffet for them with our own hands. We are fattening up our enemies. And then we wonder, where did the diseases come from? Where did the cancer come from? From right there. From that little bottle of healthy iron, which we take for no reason at all. Ninth fact. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Our best friend during cold season. The slightest tickle in the throat and we immediately load up on a gigantic dose. 1,000 milligrams, 2,000. Some go as high as 10,000. We think it's a nuclear strike on viruses. That we're creating an impenetrable shield for our immune system. The more, the better. It's logical, right? Absolutely illogical. It's as logical as trying to fill a car's gas tank through the exhaust pipe. Our body cannot absorb more than a certain amount of vitamin C at one time. Anything over that is excess. Useless ballast. And the body needs to get rid of it somehow. It sends it to the kidneys for disposal. And there, in the kidneys, this super beneficial vitamin begins to crystallize. It turns into oxalates, small sharp crystals, which over time clump together to form stones. Oxalate kidney stones. This is excruciating pain. It means surgeries. It means months of agony. We wanted to boost our immune system, but we ended up growing a mineral collection in our kidneys. We could open a geological museum right inside ourselves. 10th fact. Iodine. Another element shrouded in myths. We're told that we all live in a state of iodine deficiency, that everyone should be taking it. For the mind, for energy, for the thyroid gland. And so we take it. We put drops in our water. We buy pills. It seems like we're doing a good deed, feeding our thyroid, telling it, thanks for your work, here's a bonus. But there's one problem. A huge number of people have a hidden autoimmune thyroiditis, Hashimoto's disease. They don't even suspect they have it. The immune system is slowly attacking its own thyroid gland. A low-grade inflammation is underway, and in this situation, taking iodine is like throwing gasoline on a fire. The inflammation flares up with new force. The immune attack becomes furious. The thyroid gland is destroyed even faster. We thought we were helping, but in reality, we were finishing off a vital organ with our own hands. It's like trying to calm a crying baby by shaking it with all your might. The result will be the exact opposite, and quite tragic. 11th fact. Ginkgo biloba. Sounds like the name of a dinosaur. It's sold to us as a remedy for improving memory and brain function. The genius pill. Take one and your brain works like a supercomputer. You remember everything on the first try. You solve the most complex problems. You remember where you put your keys. We buy this doping for the mind, especially before exams or before important projects at work. We feel like we're gaining an unfair advantage. But this plant has one powerful side effect. It thins the blood very effectively, much more so than aspirin. And if we have to undergo any surgery, even the most minor one, for example, a tooth extraction, it could end in disaster. The blood simply won't stop. The surgeon will be in a panic, and we risk uncontrolled bleeding, all because of a harmless herb for memory improvement. The irony is we would definitely remember that episode for the rest of our lives. If we survive, of course. 12th fact. Arginine, an amino acid. Very popular among athletes. They take it for muscle growth, for the pump. So the veins on their biceps are visible from space. It's sold in huge tubs with tough-sounding names. Monster Mass, Turbo Pump. It all looks very serious. We think it's fuel for champions, that with this supplement we'll become like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. But this amino acid has its own secret admirer. The herpes virus. It absolutely adores it. For the virus, arginine is like a rich chocolate cake for a sweet tooth. It's its favorite food, its building material. And as soon as we start taking arginine, the virus, which was dormant in our body, wakes up and throws a feast. Cold sores blossom on the lips. 1 blister, 2, 10. Sometimes it turns into a real disaster. We wanted to build up our muscles, but we ended up with a massive herpes outbreak on our face. Beauty is a terrible force, especially this kind. So, feeling the urge to throw all those bottles in the trash? To clean out your medicine cabinet with a flamethrower? Wait, don't rush. That was just the warm-up. A light stroll through a minefield. Ahead of us lie the real monsters. Chemical mutants. Marketing bastards that disguise themselves as friends. Ready? Then let's continue. 13th fact. Aconite, or wolfsbane, often sold at markets by folk healers, under the counter, as a secret cure for cancer. A miracle root that defeats oncology. It sounds like the last hope for desperate people. And they buy it. They pay huge amounts of money. They believe in healing. But in reality, they are being sold a one-way ticket. Aconite is one of the most poisonous plants in the world. In ancient times, it was used to coat arrowheads. It contains neurotoxins, substances that paralyze the nervous system. After taking such a medicine, a burning sensation begins in the mouth, then numbness, and then cardiac and respiratory arrest. This isn't treatment. This is premeditated murder disguised as care. Selling this is like selling cyanide as vitamins. Cynicism of the highest order. 14th fact. Colloidal silver. Oh, this is a whole religion. Its adherents believe it's a panacea. It kills all viruses, all bacteria, all fungi. That it's a natural antibiotic with no side effects. They drink it by the liter. They put it in their nose, ears, eyes. They are convinced they have achieved invincibility, that no infection can harm them now. They look down on us mere mortals because we haven't seen the light. In reality, this is one of the greatest delusions. Colloidal silver does not kill viruses inside the body. For that, its concentration would have to be so high it would kill the person too. But it accumulates beautifully in the skin, in the mucous membranes, in the nails, and over time the person starts to change color. They become grayish-blue, like a character from the movie Avatar. This condition is called argyria, and you know what the funniest part is? It's irreversible. Forever. People pay money to look like a drowned corpse for the rest of their lives. A great investment in one's appearance. 15th fact. Vitamin A, retinol, another champion for our beauty and youth. We're promised it will improve vision, make skin perfect, strengthen the immune system. We buy synthetic retinol at the pharmacy. We take it and wait for a miracle. We feel like we're turning back time, but with synthetic vitamins, things are not so simple. Unlike its natural brother, beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A as needed, synthetic retinol is a finished product. And it's fat-soluble. This means its excess is not excreted in urine. It accumulates, mostly in the liver, and over time it causes toxic damage to it, hepatotoxicity. But that's not all. In high doses, vitamin A makes our bones brittle. A paradox. We take it for health, and it destroys our liver and weakens our skeleton. It's like hiring an accountant who steals your money and burns your documents. Zero benefit, a ton of harm. 16th fact. Tryptophan, an amino acid, a precursor to serotonin, the happiness hormone, sold as a natural sleeping pill and antidepressant, helps to relax, improves mood, sounds wonderful, a way to fall asleep with a smile on your face. But this supplement has a very dark past. In the late 80s and early 90s, there was an epidemic in the U.S., a mysterious illness, eosinophilia myalgia syndrome, terrible muscle pain, damage to internal organs. In the end, 37 deaths and thousands maimed. An investigation was launched, and it was discovered. All the victims had been taking tryptophan from one specific Japanese company. It turned out that due to changes in the production technology, one batch was contaminated. It contained toxic impurities. The supplement was then banned. Later, it was allowed again, But who can guarantee that something similar won't happen again? By buying tryptophan today, we are playing Russian roulette. Will you get lucky or not? Maybe this bottle contains a pure product, or maybe not. Are you ready to risk your life for a good night's sleep? 17th fact. Chromium. Chromium picolinate. Very popular among people with diabetes and prediabetes, and among those who want to lose weight. We are promised that it reduces sugar cravings, helps control blood sugar levels, normalizes carbohydrate metabolism. In short, not a supplement, but a dream for anyone with a sweet tooth. We buy it, hoping we can eat cake and not gain weight. That we can cheat nature. We feel like it's a small but legal cheat code for our body. However, the devil, as always, is in the details, specifically in the dosage. In high doses, which are often recommended by manufacturers, chromium picolinate can be dangerous. Some studies show that it can damage the DNA of our cells, cause chromosomal mutations, and that's very serious. That's a direct road to oncology. We wanted to get rid of our craving for pastries, but we risked getting cancer instead. It's like trying to kill a mosquito on your forehead with a hammer. You might kill the mosquito, but you definitely won't like the consequences. 18th fact. Licorice. We know it from candies and cough syrups, but its extract is also sold as a dietary supplement for adrenal health, to combat fatigue, for hormonal balance. It sounds very noble, helping small but important organs. We drink this licorice. We feel a surge of energy. It seems like the supplement is working. But this sweet root has a very insidious property. It significantly raises blood pressure. For someone with hypertension, it's a ticking bomb. But even for a healthy person, it's dangerous. In addition, licorice actively flushes potassium out of the body, and potassium is a crucial mineral for heart function. Its deficiency leads to arrhythmia, to irregular heartbeats, in the worst-case scenario, to cardiac arrest. We wanted to treat our adrenals, but we ended up with a hypertensive crisis and arrhythmia. And that's if the ambulance manages to arrive in time. We could have just eaten a banana. It has potassium and joy, and no side effects. 19th fact. Red yeast rice. Sounds like something from Asian cuisine. Exotic and healthy. It's sold as a natural alternative to statins, drugs for lowering cholesterol. They tell us, why use chemicals? Here, nature has already figured everything out. And we believe it, because natural is a synonym for safe. Right? Wrong. Red yeast rice does contain a substance that lowers cholesterol. It's called lovastatin. The problem is, it's the exact same substance found in prescription statins. Only in the pharmacy, the dosage is strictly controlled, and a doctor selects it individually. But in a bottle of rice, who knows how much lovastatin there is? Maybe a little, or maybe a lot. And we get all the side effects of statins, the most common of which is muscle breakdown, rhabdomyolysis. But without any medical supervision, we wanted to naturally clean our arteries. But we got muscle pain and the risk of kidney failure. It's like performing heart surgery on yourself with a kitchen knife. The tool looks similar, but the result will be catastrophic. 20th fact. Folic acid, vitamin B9, it's prescribed to all pregnant women without fail to prevent neural tube defects in the fetus. This is sacred, and we, having heard about its benefits, start taking it just because. For health, for blood, for the brain. We think it's a universal vitamin of goodness, but there's a huge but. The folic acid sold in pharmacies is a synthetic form, and a huge number of people, up to 40% by some estimates, have a mutation in the MTHFR gene. It's not a disease, it's just a trait, but because of it, synthetic folic acid cannot be properly absorbed. It doesn't convert into its active form. Instead, it accumulates in the blood, circulating there like garbage. And it doesn't just circulate, it blocks the receptors for normal, natural folate, which we get from green vegetables. And what's worse, studies link high levels of unabsorbed folic acid to an increased risk of cancer, especially colon cancer. We need methylfolate, but we're being sold its cheap and dangerous imposter. 21st fact. Selenium. a crucial trace element, an antioxidant, needed for the thyroid gland, for the immune system. It protects us from cancer. It's portrayed to us as a valiant warrior. And we, of course, want this warrior in our army. We buy selenium in pill form. We take it for prevention. We feel like we're investing in our longevity. But selenium is no joke. The line between benefit and poison is razor thin. Literally a few extra micrograms and we're on the dark side. Selenium overdose or selenosis is an extremely unpleasant thing. It starts with hair loss, then brittle nails, nervous system damage, irritability, and the cherry on top is garlic breath. You start to smell like you've eaten a head of garlic, and nothing can cover up this smell. We wanted to protect ourselves from cancer, but we ended up bald, nervous, and smelling bad. I'm sure those around us will appreciate our commitment to health. 22nd fact. Ephedra, or Ma Huang. At one time, this was a superstar among fat burners. It was added to all weight loss pills. The effect was thermonuclear. It revved up the metabolism to the speed of light. It gave you insane energy. It completely killed your appetite. People lost weight on it at a rapid pace. It seemed like the magic pill had been found. The holy grail for everyone struggling with weight. But everything comes at a price. And the price for this magic was too high. Ephedra is a powerful stimulant. It puts a tremendous strain on the cardiovascular system. It increases the heart rate, it raises blood pressure, and a wave of death swept across the world. Young, healthy people were dying from strokes and heart attacks, right in the gym. After this, ephedra was banned. But you can still find it in underground fat burners. And there will always be those willing to risk their lives for a flat stomach. It's like playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded revolver. The chances of survival are almost zero. Well, I see you're still here. You haven't run off. You haven't called the medics. You have nerves of steel. I'm almost proud of you. This means you're ready for the main course, for a dessert of cynicism and disillusionment. We've walked through the jungle of marketing tricks. We've dodged a few poison arrows, but ahead of us lies a meeting with the final boss, with the supplements that strike not at the body, but at our very essence, at our hormones, at our psyche, at our sense of self. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. 23rd fact, the hormone DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone. Sounds like the name of a demon from the underworld, but it's sold as the elixir of youth, the mother hormone. We're promised it will give us the energy of a 20-year-old, improve libido, smooth wrinkles, practically turn back time, and we, looking at ourselves in the mirror, think, well, why not? We buy this hormone, we start taking it, and we wait to be rejuvenated, but we are playing with fire. DHEA is a pro-hormone. In the body, it converts into other hormones, into testosterone, into estrogens. And if we have a dormant, microscopic hormone-dependent tumor in our body, for example, prostate cancer or breast cancer, then DHEA is like shouting, "Attack!" at it. The tumor wakes up and begins to grow at a frantic pace. We wanted to regain our youth, but we ended up awakening our own personal demon, one that will eat us from the inside out. 24th fact, aloe vera. The healing plant. We rub its juice on burns, we add it to creams, but some go further. They start drinking its juice or eating the gel internally to cleanse the body, for a detox, to improve digestion. We feel like we are drinking nature itself, that every drop of this juice brings us health. But the skin of the aloe leaf contains a substance called aloin. It's a powerful irritant laxative. With long-term use, it leads to intestinal atony. This is when the intestine simply forgets how to work on its own. It becomes lazy, and it can no longer contract without a dose of aloin. A person gets hooked on this natural laxative like a drug. In addition, constant diarrhea flushes electrolytes out of the body. Potassium, sodium, magnesium. The water-salt balance is disturbed. And this is a direct path to heart problems and seizures. We wanted to cleanse our intestines, but we ended up breaking them and became slaves to a green plant. 25th fact, melatonin. The sleep hormone. It's sold as a harmless sleeping pill, non-addictive, natural, helps you fall asleep and get a full night's rest. The perfect solution for city dwellers with their messed up rhythms. And so, we buy it. We take a little pill before bed and fall into the arms of Morpheus. It seems the problem is solved, but there's a catch. Taking external melatonin daily, especially in high doses, can play a cruel trick on us. Our own body, specifically the pineal gland, sees that the hormone is already coming from the outside and decides it doesn't need to work so hard anymore. Our own melatonin production decreases, and over time it may stop altogether, and now we can't fall asleep without a pill. Hello, dependency. But that's not all. In some people, taking melatonin can worsen depression. We wanted to sleep well, but we ended up with insomnia without pills, and a sadness that not even sleep can cure. A wonderful trade-off. 26th. Fact. Omega-3. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. The holy grail of a healthy lifestyle. Good for the heart, for the brain, for the blood vessels, against inflammation. We're told that everyone should take it, from infants to the elderly, and so we take it. We buy large bottles of fish oil capsules. We swallow them, imagining our blood vessels being cleansed, our brains starting to work better. We feel like adherents of proper nutrition. But there is one problem. Omega-3 fats oxidize very easily. They go rancid under the influence of light, heat, and oxygen, and the fish oil sold in cheap, clear plastic bottles that has been sitting on a warehouse shelf for months, then in a store. It has most likely long gone rancid, oxidized, and instead of benefits, we get harm. Rancid fish oil is a source of free radicals, the very same ones that cause aging, damage cells, and provoke cancer. We're taking capsules for our health, but in reality, we're throwing a handful of carcinogens into our bodies. It's like drinking freshly squeezed juice made from rotten oranges. It seems like juice, but something's not right. 27th fact. Zinc, an important mineral for the immune system, for the skin, for male health. It became especially popular during the pandemic. Everyone took it for protection against viruses, and many continue to take it, just because, in cycles, to strengthen their defenses. We feel like we're building a fortress, that our immune system is becoming impenetrable, but we forget about balance. Everything in our body is interconnected, and zinc is an antagonist to copper. This means that with long-term use of high doses of zinc, it begins to actively displace copper. It simply flushes it out of the body. And a copper deficiency is very dangerous. It leads to anemia that cannot be treated with iron, to neutropenia, a decrease in immune cells, and to neurological disorders that can mimic multiple sclerosis. We wanted to strengthen our immune system with zinc, but we ended up with anemia, killed another part of our immune system, and developed nerve problems. A brilliant plan, as reliable as a Swiss watch. 29th fact. Ginger root. We love it in tea, in baked goods, in Asian dishes. It's warming, invigorating. It helps with colds, and its extract, of course, is sold in capsules for digestion, against nausea, as an anti-inflammatory agent. We think it's concentrated goodness. What could be safer than ginger? But this safety can be deadly. Ginger, like ginkgo biloba, thins the blood. And if a person is taking anticoagulants, for example, warfarin, prescribed by a doctor after heart surgery or for thrombosis, then the combination of these two substances can be fatal. The effect is amplified many times over. The blood becomes as thin as water, and spontaneous internal bleeding can begin. In the stomach, in the intestines, in the brain, without any trauma, just out of the blue. We wanted to treat our stomach with ginger, and we ended up giving ourselves a hemorrhagic stroke. As they say, you got what you were fighting for. 31st fact. Ginseng, the root of life, a legendary adaptogen, a symbol of Eastern medicine. We're promised it will give us strength, improve endurance, increase concentration, help cope with stress. It's like a cup of espresso that lasts for 24 hours. And so we buy it. We take it before a hard day. We feel a surge of energy. It seems we can move mountains. But for people with diabetes, especially those on insulin, this root could be the last thing they ever try. Ginseng has the ability to sharply lower blood sugar levels, and if a diabetic who has already injected a dose of insulin also takes ginseng, a double blow will occur. Sugar will drop to critically low levels. This is called hypoglycemia, weakness, sweating, loss of consciousness, coma, and death. If help is not provided in time, we wanted to get a boost of energy, but we ended up in a coma, though now there's plenty of energy to spare on the other side. 30-second fact. Probiotics. Good bacteria for our gut. They are advertised to us as a universal solution to all problems, from bloating to depression. Populate your gut with the right tenants and you will find happiness. And so we populate. We drink yogurts. We swallow capsules with billions of bacteria. We feel like we're bringing order to our inner world. But there are situations where this help can kill. For example, in severe acute pancreatitis. This is a terrible condition where the pancreas begins to digest itself. The body is at its limit. And at this moment, as studies have shown, taking probiotics can increase the risk of death. There's a theory that the bacteria cause intestinal ischemia, a disruption of blood supply, and instead of help we get tissue necrosis. We wanted to aid digestion, but we ended up finishing off an already barely living organism. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to do nothing at all. 33rd fact. All-in-one multivitamins. The apotheosis of marketing thought. Why buy a bunch of different bottles when you can buy one? It has everything, from A to zinc, 25 vitamins, 50 minerals, 100 herbal extracts. We look at this composition and think, now that's power, this is armor. We buy this magic pill. We swallow it every morning. And we feel safe. We feel like we've covered all our deficiencies, that our body has received everything it needs. In reality, we've bought a ticket to a chemical dump. In one tablet, components that interfere with each other are mixed together. They fight among themselves. Vitamin B12 destroys vitamin B1. Zinc blocks calcium absorption. Iron doesn't get along with magnesium. This isn't a team of superheroes. It's a communal apartment where everyone hates each other. As a result, most of these vitamins are simply not absorbed. We get useless, but very expensive urine. And the illusion of self-care, paid for with our own money. Bravo, marketers. This is your masterpiece. So, we have taken a walk through the pharmacy, as if through a museum of deception. We've looked at the exhibits, we've read the labels, and we've understood one simple thing. They take us for idiots. They sell us fear. And then they sell us the cure for that fear. They create a problem for us and then offer a solution in a beautiful package for a lot of money. And we fall for it. Again and again. We have forgotten how to listen to our own bodies. We are looking for a magic pill instead of just eating properly, sleeping and moving. Maybe it's enough. Maybe it's time to turn on our brains. After all, the main supplement we all need is common sense. But unfortunately, you can't buy that in a pharmacy. And you know what 34th fact I would add? The most terrifying one. It's our faith. The faith that someone other than ourselves will take care of our health. That is the most dangerous supplement of all. Subscribe. It's only going to get meaner.